What up, universe? It's Dutsu Adiyemo here with All Street Investing. And today I'm going to go over what it is that you have to do to make the perfect trade. I think a lot of people, especially on All Street, I'm very, I guess being the creator of this, I want to make sure that people are able to make money in the long run. But a lot of people are seeming to lose money, maybe because they took a position they weren't supposed to. Maybe they got too eager. Maybe they didn't know what they were doing. So this video, I want to go over what it takes to make the perfect trade, right? And so the first thing I want to talk about, right, before even making a trade, before any of the analytics, is just emotion. A lot of people have a job, right? If you're in All Street, or maybe you don't have a job, people usually have backup incomes, right? And since they have a backup income, because they are able to wager however much money, because they have a job, they can always get it back, right? Because your job is like, just giving you more money. But understand that, for example, let's say you take a $1,000 trade and you lose $300, right? You still lost $300. Though you may be able to replenish your account because you have a job, the fact of the matter is you have to spend the $300 now to replenish the account back to normal, which means you're taking $300 away from the paycheck that should be going somewhere else. You know what I mean? So a lot of people like to trade eagerly because they have a backup income, which is not the smartest thing to do. Because if you start losing way more than what your check can recover, you're still at a loss, and even a bigger loss. So that's one thing. You need to start trading like you have absolutely no money. Like, you have to start trading like you absolutely have no money coming into you or coming for you, and you need to start trading like you have $100,000. Treat this money like it's going to change your life, and once you start doing that, you're going to be much more selective about your trades. That's one, right? So let's get to the analytics of things. Trust me, trading is really all about emotion. If you can control your emotions, you're fine, because everything else stays true. So I'm going to go over a few things that happened, or a few trades that happened, the other day, right? And hopefully it makes sense to you guys. Now, for the people who are in the class, you guys understand the 10 indicator method, or 8 indicator method, 7 indicator method. Pretty much you get it at a low, the lowest possible, and you ride it up, right? Now, look at this. This is the stock called UGAZ, right? The stock called UGAZ, for you guys who already understand where to get it from, it hit a low of 1726, right? Look, at this low, what can we tell? It's at the bottom VWAP line. The RSI is way below 30, or it's at 30 actually. The TSI is also at 30. The MACD is red. The TTM squeeze is red. Everything is basically saying that this thing is low, right? Now let's say you bought in at 1727. You buy here, boom, you're good. So the next thing is, how do you know? I'm going to zoom in right here. How do you know if this thing is going to continue to go up? Number one, the RSI and TSI have to continue going up, right? Right now it's way too undervalued. So the simple fact that it has to push up now from an undervalued value to even a little bit higher than undervalued means you're going to make profit. That's one. Two, the MACD is red still. So waiting for it to turn green means you're also doing it. That's two. The TTM squeeze, you got it at the end of the consolidation, and so now it has to break out past, right? That's three. Four, it's underneath all its averages. But how do you know if it's going to continue trend? Number one, when I personally trade, I never put all my money into one spot. I never do that. Because if I put all my money into one spot and then it somehow continues to go down, I'm going to be losing a lot of money, right? What I like to do is look for these things called confirmations, right? Confirmations are basically a switch into what the general direction is doing. A confirmation for the MACD when you bought it at red would be, okay, now it's green. You know what I mean? A confirmation for the TSI RSI is that, okay, I got it below 30 and now it's rising above 30, right? A confirmation for the squeeze of red and yellow would be, okay, now it's light blue, it's breaking out. A confirmation for the averages is crossing. That's what I think. I think that's what a lot of people are missing. It's crossing. At this point, when the price was 17.27, right? Let's say you had let's do actual numbers, or let's do my account. I'm gonna open up my calculator and give you guys a real world example. All right. So let's say you have $10,000, and you decide to buy it at 17.27. You put $5,000. I always put like about half of my money in one spot. $5,000 in at 17.27. So now you're holding about 290 shares, right? At 17.97. Now, it starts going up, right? So I'm going to minimize my calculator. It starts going up, and you guys can tell by the trend, it goes from red to blue. Why does it go from red to blue? Understand that it's already undervalued here, so it has nothing else to do besides go up. But the confirmation is when the candlesticks start approaching the EMA line. The EMA line is right here, right? When the candlesticks are approaching the EMA line, and then they pull back onto it, that means that the average buy price, right? The average buy and sell price within that candlestick is being bought more than it is being sold more. That makes sense? This candlestick is usually red or green, right? So when it's going up, it's green. When it's going down, it's red. But when you have a trend that's blue, for example, it's basically saying that within that 1 minute that people are buying and selling that price, people are buying it more than they are selling it more, which means it's going to push up the price. So all this is people buying it more than selling it more. Why are they buying it more? Because it just came from a low. It just came from a 17.27 low. People are going to buy it, right? So now you want confirmation that this thing is going to continue to be bought, right? This is how you're supposed to look at it. People are continuing to buy it, right? It breaks past the EMA at 17.37. It breaks past the EMA at 17.37. You can see it above me, the price above me. It starts doing this, right? It pulls back onto the EMA. That's confirmation. That's like saying, okay, it's being bought a lot, but now the average of it being bought is below me. So I want to make sure that I'm able to still be bought even if the average is going up, right? That's like saying if a bank account is $10 and the average is 5, it wants to make sure the average is 5. So it will go down to 5 and then bounce back up to 10. You know what I mean? Just to test if that average is actually 5. So what it did is that it bounced on the EMA, it pulled back onto the EMA, and started riding the trend continuously upward, right? To a point where the candlesticks are now further away from the EMA. Remember, it goes back up to 10 because the average is 5. So far so that it's now above the top VWAP line, right? At that point, you're at massive profit. If you have $5,000 here, and you sold it here, on top of the VWAP line, that's 2.23%. So 2.23% times 5,000. Oops, 2.223 times 5,000. Yeah, $1,100. I mean, $111 profit, right? But here's the thing: when I see confirmation of the price bouncing back on the EMA, right? I'm putting now my other half in because I'm averaging upward, right? So let's say I bought the other 5,000 at 17.37. So I have 5,000 at 17.27 and 5,000 at 17.37. So obviously, if you want to find the difference or the median line, you just add those two together, divided by 2. And so basically my average price is 17.32. Now currently, when I bought my other position, the other 5,000 position, I'm still at profit because my average price is 17.32. You know what I mean? So I'm still at profit. Does that make sense? My average price is got a little bit higher, but I'm still at profit because the average price is higher, right? The current price is higher than my average price. So then what ends up happening? Look at all the indicators. The MACD starts turning green. The TTM squeeze starts turning yellow. Starts breaking out. The EMA start going upward. It's like literally pointing upward. You know what I mean? And I'm making more money every time it starts changing. To a point to a point where it starts getting oversold around 1768. Now, I could sold my profit. If I have 1732, right? 1732 to 1768 is about 1.74%, right? And it keeps on going. Now, you don't know where this can possibly go. It's at its top VWAP line. The RSI is 70 now. The MACD is green. Everything's saying it's going to go. But the only thing that's saying that's not going to go is the fact that it's still trending upward, right? And you can see that's trending upward because the candlesticks are literally above the EMA line. Still, within those candlesticks, people are still buying it more than they are selling it, which means the trend will continue going upward. The buying pressure is so high, which is why it's breaking out so much, right? Throughout this entire trade, I would not have sold it until I saw a red candlestick, right? Because all it is doing is bouncing on this EMA, bouncing on this EMA, bouncing on this EMA, right? Now the MACD, look, the MACD is red over here again, which means now it has more pressure to go up. You know what I mean? The TTM squeeze average lines turns red, which means it's going to continue doing what it was doing before. And it was breaking out before, so before this, it was breaking out. It's going to continue breaking out afterwards. But the price stays above the EMA line. The price stays above the EMA line. The price stays above the EMA line. Above. Way, way above, right? Now it's at a point, it's at 1841, right? I would have, my personal opinion, I would have sold it right here at 1822 to confirm now that it's done with all that buying pressure and now it has to consolidate, right? So if I bought it at 1732, right, 1732, and I roll all the way up to 18, let's just be modest and say 1821, I made about 4%, 4.71%. $10,000 times 0.0471 is $471 that I just made, right? Now I'm done. I'm not going to hold this thing anymore. I'm taking my profit, right? Because now look what happens. It starts bleeding a little bit more, right? It starts consolidating a little bit more. But look at this. The candlesticks are now below the EMA line. They're now below the EMA line, which means that more people are selling it than what they have, than what they're buying it for. You know what I mean? There's more sell orders within those candles than there are buy orders. Now you already know, or maybe you don't know, but now the EMA line, right? It's so high, and the SMA line is so low. What's going to happen? It has to cross. It has to cross, right? I would be out until it crosses. Because what happens here is that it ends up crossing here, right? It ends up crossing here. And now I'm not even going to touch this because it's not even close to the lowest VWAP line anymore. It's not even close to the lowest VWAP line. That's my trade. I'm done. I made 4.71%. Right? So the whole point of it basically is to get something at a low, right? Make sure that the price crosses the EMA line and pulls back onto it, thus continuing a trend. This happens so many times. We can go to another stock, UWT. Okay, UWT, right? Here's another good trade. Right here at 9:36 in the morning, the RSI TSI was 30, MACD red, TTM squeeze red, everything was good, right? Below all its averages. You bought it at $11.02, right? Put half of your money or a quarter of your money, however you want to play it, and you start doing this, right? You buy it here. About 9 minutes later, the price crosses the EMA line, and now more people are buying it than they are selling it, right? So if you bought it at 11.02 and you literally sold it right at the top VWAP line, you made about 2% right then and there because you saw that it crossed the EMA line and now it's doing better than the average. It's doing better than the average. And you sell it. You can literally sell it for profit, right? That's another one right there. You guys understand that every time it crosses the EMA line, right, it's doing better or worse than the average. The EMA line is so important. It's so important. Not just for crosses, but for trends. For trends, you know what I mean? But if you saw this happen, right? Let's say you bought it here in the morning, and you saw it happen, and you see that it crossed here, and it bounced on the middle VWAP line, right? And now it's using these EMA, and it bounced on the SO, more so bouncing on the SMA line. You can see that it's using the SMA line as support. Why is it using the SMA line as support? Because the EMA line, right, gives you the trend. The SMA line gives you the overall trend, right? This overall is going up for this time period. You see what I'm trying to say? So if it keeps on bouncing on the SMA line, it's going to continue going upward. So you could have been like, okay, it bounced on the SMA line, it crossed the EMA, continued to go up, right? And that's what it did, to a point where it got so far up, right? And now you're seeing more reds. Understand that when the SMA line starts getting closer to the highest VWAP line, the highest average you can go to, it has nothing to do but cross, which is what it did over here. It crossed. The SMA line was like within the middle and top VWAP line. It was so close to the SMA or EMA. So it had to cross, right? So you buy at a low, you can literally wait until the EMA cross, and then you literally sell it anywhere for profit. That's it. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to do maybe a few more trades. Let's do OBLN. I think OBLN had a okay, this is a low day. Okay, so look at this. So 65 cents was a good low. Way below average, right? The price is way below the average lines. Way below. Everything lines up for you. You can literally buy it here and you sell it for a profit. That's it. You know what I mean? It was too oversold. That's a good one. You don't need to basically wait for it to go to cross. It actually did cross. It did cross and turn blue for a little bit. You know what I mean? But anything, literally, if you bought it at 65 cents, anything after 65 cents is still profit. Is still profit. Because you could have waited until it crossed again. Even if it went down a little bit, you could have waited until it crossed again. And now currently it's at 74. You know what I mean? Or 74 cents. You see that? You see how that works? Or let's go to Tesla. Tesla's a good one that everyone likes to talk about. Okay, so at this point, right? At this point, boom. Low, crosses, continues trend, sell. Look at this confirmation. The confirmation is the EMA SMA cross. Right here, you saw it cross, pull back onto the EMA line, making money. You can literally sell at any point after that. This works for any stock. Now, what I want to actually tell you guys is that there's a way for you to find out basically when something is trending, right? When you see an overall trend, you basically want to see what it's doing within like the last like 4 or 5 months, right? If it's uptrending. If it's uptrending over the last 4 or 5 months. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my scan settings. And my scanning settings are very minimal. You know, I only have volume and last. But what you can do for a stock is that if you want to find a trend, right? You can press Add Study Filter. Right? And let's say you want to do popular studies or moving average scan, right? So you want to say maybe, let's say 180-day period, and the open is at least not 10%. Let's say 2%. 2% over the exponential, or yeah, you can do the simple moving average, right? And what that starts to give you is stocks that are basically uptrending, right? It's saying that the open is at least 2% higher than the 180-day period on the simple moving average, right? So if you go to ARQL, you'll see that this price, right, $8.33, is way above the SMA line. You know what I mean? It's uptrending. You want to be able to get something that's actively uptrending. So above the SMA line. Above the SMA line. We can go to the next one. AVDL. Right? It's literally uptrending. It's uptrending. It's uptrending. It's uptrending. It's uptrending. So this would have been a good stock to buy. Because look at this. Look what happened here. Boom. 274. When all the indicators lined up, you literally could have rode it the entire day. We can do another one. AU. AU, right? It even says the lowest. Oops, I'm sorry. It even says that the low is 1568. Or if you didn't like that and you saw it start bleeding in the active market, right? When the clock switched to 9:30, you could have got it here, right? Crossed the EMA line and made a little bit of profit, right then and there. Or if you saw it go all the way down to its low when it's below all its average lines, 1558, you could have held it and made a swing trade. That's a good swing trade right there. Let's go to AES. So we can go to AES. You guys see how it's all uptrending? It's all of it is uptrending. You see it? This will most likely continue to uptrend past the SMA line. There's ways for you guys to be able to make perfect trades. But once you overall get rid of the emotional standpoint of your trading and just rely it based on what it's telling you, you're going to make money all the time. You're going to make money all the time. Don't think you're smarter than the indicators. Don't think that hope is here, because hope is not here. They don't care about your faith. They don't care about your hope. It's all about statistics and logistics. You know what I mean? You should know how to read this thing because it's literally telling you. All you're doing is basically following the same trend. So that's literally about all I wanted to tell you guys. If you guys have any questions, it's black. If you guys have any questions about anything I said today, let me know. Leave a comment. You can message me personally on the Discord, and I'll really try to go over how it works. Because money is a very important thing for all of us, and I think that the more people that know about these kind of things, and especially how to manipulate it so that it makes you more money, you're able to make more money from every single thing that you do. You know what I mean? And that's the whole purpose of this channel, of this Discord, of this company or this group organization, is to make sure that you guys understand that money can be made if you know how to do it correctly. Alright, so I'm gonna go. Hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you guys around. Peace.